the 2024 election prediction and just the most likely election scenario between, again, Joe Biden and Donald Trump at this exact moment, about 3 years away from the 2024 election and about 1 year away from the midterms of 2022. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. This video will be considering everything such as Biden's bad approval rating, the 2020 election results I'm going to show you guys here, and just considering everything, I will be making a prediction as of right now between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, again a rematch scenario. So let's get right into it. Washington, Oregon, California, New York. Now, actually, at this point in time, Oregon's not considered safe. Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont, as well as D.C. and the state of Illinois, as well as the state of Hawaii. Those states, I believe, will be considered safe for the Democratic Party. You can see some notable exceptions of Delaware, New Jersey, and Oregon, and Maine's 1st Congressional District. Before we get into safe Republican states, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new. And right now speaking, if we just look at the subscribers, the audience, you can see that 80% of my viewers are currently not subscribed in the past 28 days, and for channels as small as mine, you should expect that number to be in the 20% range. So be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Going to safe Republican states: Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Montana, Nebraska's 3rd District, Nebraska's at-large vote. I believe Nebraska's 1st will be not safe because of redistricting. Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri, and Indiana. These states will be considered safe for the Republicans. As well as that, I do consider right now the state of South Carolina as safe for the Republicans due to just the trends and just Biden's bad approval rating as it stands right now. I know saying bad just is not that generous, but again, it is considered a very low approval rating. So that's what we have: 155 for Joe Biden and 121 for Donald Trump. I don't think these numbers are very surprising. Now, going to likely Democratic states, these are states I consider to be in the upper likelies for Joe Biden. Oregon, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maine's 1st District. These states I think will all be above 10%, just not over that 15% mark. Again, all 30 states were, and this district was safe for Joe Biden in 2020. Now we can go to states that I consider in the lower end of likely, meaning 5 to 10 percentage points. Those states include Maine's at-large vote, New Mexico, Colorado, and Virginia. So these are considered likely for Joe Biden at this moment in time. My margins are in the description down below. In the state of Alaska, I do consider that as likely for the GOP. It's very close to 15%, but just Trump's underperformance statewide is just not enough for me to say it's really that good. And I will not be considering the state as a safe Republican state because it needs to be over 15%. Now going to other states I consider to be likely. Nebraska's 1st, that's also considered in the higher end of likely. In the lower end of likely, meaning about 5 to 10 percentage points, Iowa, Ohio, Maine's 2nd District. These are areas that Trump won by likely margins this time around. I think all of these areas are about 8 percentage points, but I think that they will retain in that around that 5 to 9% range. I think Iowa, Ohio, maybe 7 points. Maybe Maine's 2nd, maybe 6 points, something like that, as it stands right now. And the state of Texas I consider to be likely for Donald Trump, just based on the trends. I keep saying that, but just based on the trends, Biden will narrow down the margin, but in reverse is Biden's approval rating, and if this continues, it's definitely not a great sign. And if we look at the 4-year period, you can see that within this trend, by the 2022 midterms, Biden's disapproval rating will be at about 66%. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but just based on the trends, it's just not the best thing for the incumbent president. Now going to lean states, I expect to be between 2 to 5 points for both political parties. I'm going to start with the Biden lean states. There honestly aren't that many. I'd say New Hampshire, as of right now, I would characterize that as a lean towards the Democrats. Minnesota as well, just the strong movement and the Minneapolis area growing population is just not good enough for the Republicans to make gains in this area, especially rural areas losing a lot of population, while Democratic areas such as Minneapolis gaining population. I mean, Minneapolis nearly took away the police. I know they ended up rejecting it, but it was still relatively close, and just having that ballot measure really tells you something about Minnesota and Minneapolis itself. So, lean Democrat, I think that is a fair characterization. Now going to the lean Republican areas, which are Republican areas I expect to go for Donald Trump by above 2% but below 5%. Those areas include Florida, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. So, after these 3 projections, Donald Trump actually sits at 245 electoral votes. Do remember that all of these states in gray were all won by Joe Biden in 2020, and on top of that, the state of Wisconsin. I think Florida and North Carolina aren't that surprising. I mean, Biden's approval rating is really telling, and Florida and North Carolina I don't think will go to the Democrats in 2024 for obvious reasons. If we look at just the projections here, in Florida, Trump won the state by 3.3, thanks very much to Miami-Dade County. That county gave Trump the state. If Biden did the Hillary Clinton margin here and did it in Broward and Palm Beach, Biden would have came very close to winning the state. But he didn't, and that's why he lost the state itself. So, I think that Hispanics are going to revert back to Democrats a little bit in 2024, but just not enough for Biden to win the state at all. I think maybe Tampa, Hillsborough may go under 5%. Maybe Duval will be more competitive. Maybe Seminole will go red. Something like that. You get a point here. The state is not going blue anytime soon. North Carolina, honestly, I think that the Democrats have a very realistic chance of winning the state, but that's just not going to happen in 2024. In the future, yes, but right now, just no. Due to the fact that the Democrats may get low turnout in areas such as Wake County, Raleigh, Mecklenburg, Greensboro, Winston-Salem. These are the 4, key areas for Democrats. And Durham County. So these areas are the key areas where Democrats are just not going to run up turnout, and the Republicans could run up turnout in the rural areas and ultimately give the Democrats a loss about 2%, above 2% in the state of North Carolina. Wisconsin, I think, just based on current numbers here, if Trump does better in the wild counties, he can easily flip the state. Now we can go to the tote Biden states, which honestly isn't a lot. I'm going to start with the tote Trump states, which include Pennsylvania. I don't think that's too surprising. Pennsylvania, Biden's home state, but just based on the recent trends, based on the Virginia gubernatorial elections, the Democrats lost every single one of those races. Just based on that, it's enough to say the Democrats are not going to do that well, especially after New Jersey. Even more of a shock here, 99% of the estimated votes in. Jack Chiarelli still is not cracking 100,000 votes in his lead, and Phil Murphy, not Jack Chiarelli, Phil Murphy. Jack Chiarelli is not even trailing by 3 points, which is really, really concerning. Now going to the next total Republican state, I don't think that's too surprising. Arizona, Even though I'm conflicted about lean and tilt, but I'll just put it as tilt right now. Could move into lean. It's just Biden's approval rating, declining approval ratings for Joe Biden, not the best sign for him in 2024 whatsoever. Nebraska's 2nd district is also tilt for the Republicans, just because of redistricting, making it a lot tougher for the Democrats to win. If we look at redistricting, okay, I have the Florida map open because this is a much freer map than I expected, but the most important point is that Nebraska, Don Bacon, his seat is around 3 points better, and the electoral votes in the state of Nebraska is more likely going to go to Democrats. Going to go to Republicans, it's 3 points more likely. Now going to the state of Michigan, I'm having a real tough time ranking that, but I'm going to tilt that towards the Republicans because of trend and just the recent events. Not the best for Democrats. I think the Democrats will end up losing support statewide as well. Biden did win the state by, 200,000 votes, 255,000 votes, which is impressive on surface level, but if Republicans can run up the numbers in Macomb County, an area that Trump was able to win heavily, is able to flip back Kent County, flip back some of these areas such as Shignaw County, such as Kalamazoo County, not Kalamazoo, but take back a lot of these areas that Trump was able to get in 2016. The Republicans should be able to flip the state, again, based on Biden's declining approval rating. Now if we go to the state of Nevada, I'll tell that towards the Republicans, because of Hispanics, again, Biden still was able to win the state, but I think that in 2024 will be a lot tougher, because, Nevada wasn't even campaigned on behalf of Donald Trump. If he actually campaigned in the state, I'd say he had a decent chance of winning the state if you look at the results. Again, I think that the Democrats are not going to win Washoe County again. The Republicans, maybe they could keep Clark County under 50,000 votes, run it up in the rural areas, maybe not. The state was decided by 35,000 votes, so the Republican plan maybe, I'd say if I was a Republican strategist, again, not, but if I was a Republican strategist, I would say maybe run up the numbers in Clark, maybe make it within 70,000 votes, maybe 60,000 votes, so that will net the Republicans close, over 30,000 votes, and then win Washoe County. So that's maybe a Republican strategy. So in the end, though, I think the Democrats will lose the state of Nevada, because the state was pretty close vote-wise. Now going to the state of Georgia. Georgia, I'm really tough about it. I'm still going to go with the Democrats just because how Biden was able to do extremely well statewide, winning the state, and just the Atlanta suburbs. I'm going to zoom into Atlanta. If we look at the Wikipedia results, I guess 1992. What? Anyways, I'll just go to, let's say, 2008. That was a great Democratic performance, right? If we look at what is happening here? Okay, if we look at the state of Georgia, again, ignore those rural areas. These rural areas make up a very small portion of the state's population. Zoom into Atlanta. No, that's not what's supposed to happen. Zoom into Atlanta. In this area, zoom into Atlanta, you can see what Cobb, Gwinnett, I don't know what I'm talking about, but not Ohio. You can see in the state of Georgia, if you zoom into these areas, there's 3 counties that went red, that went blue in 2020. So those 3 counties who were like I put in 2020 is Cobb, Gwinnett, and Henry. So those 3 counties all went red at the time, but went blue for Joe Biden. And those were margins that were close to 20% and cracking 20% in Henry County. So that definitely gives the Democrats a very good chance at winning the state. Also, these areas are also barely Obama plus 5 years. YouTube went to Biden by 10. Douglas went to Biden by like 25. Rockdale went to Biden by 40. So you can see how Biden was able to just do very well statewide and do very well in these areas. Like Atlanta was only less than 70% for a black president. I mean, just look at it compared to 72.6%. No, DeKalb County being, Clayton being Democrat plus 70 at the time, not even being Democrat plus 60. That really tells you a lot about the story in Georgia. Therefore, I'm telling that towards the Democrats. Anyways, this is my projection here: 241 for the Democratic campaign and 297 for Donald Trump. Thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to drop a like, make a subscription here. It's just one tap. Go ahead. I know you really want that. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.